Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first episode of the Will Just Talk Show. It's
Yes.
just me, Will, and my co-host Justin.
Hello,
And
everyone.
yeah, and we're just gonna talk.
We're just,
We don't have anything planned for the first episode. We're just gonna I put a timer for 30 minutes and we're just gonna talk. And hopefully we kind of figure out our flow as we go through these episodes. And maybe you guys tell us in the comments what you guys want us to talk about. But
yeah.
yeah, Justin, you want to do a little quick introduction?
Yeah, just a little chit chat, a little banter. My name is Justin. I think the premise behind this is just two good friends looking to have a conversation. I think that we've had some pretty deep conversations. I think William could agree in the past and figured out, hey, might as well see if anybody else wants to be a little fly on the wall. So with that without further ado, let's get going. William, what is your opinion on the drones? Is it what is it, you should is this something that we should be afraid of right now?
Um, I think it depends on who you ask. If you go on Twitter, people are freaking out about it. I think it kind of died down the past couple weeks, but people were saying it's like there's like a nuke somewhere in New York or New Jersey that the government's trying to find. Um, I think it just kind of died down. I think it was probably like a they're probably just trying to like do like a psyop or something for Project Bluebeam. But yeah, it kind of died down now.
Okay.
What do you think about it?
I don't know, man. It's a hard argument because at some point I want to believe, and just to give you guys a little background, me and Will were younger gentlemen. I would say probably it's safe to say in our mid 20s.
Yeah,
I recall watching the David, if I'm not, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but David Grush. Um,
I don't know who that is.
he was the whistleblower, ex like Air Force gentleman that he had the whole trial, or he was presenting in front of like the House of Representatives, and he was telling these high ups in the U.S. government that he saw some fucking aliens. Oh, I don't know if all right. Well, hey, first F bomb, first
First
F
podcast,
bomb, first, yeah,
first
first podcast,
podcast.
first. So I don't know. I mean, it's a compelling story. I mean, if you're watching this, probably like mid to late, maybe even early 40s-year-old man, and he's not like you know he's not like an ordinary dude. Like this guy apparently was a high-end, you know, Air Force guy, so an officer even. So it's hard to pinpoint. Like I would want to believe him. Like why would you make that shit up? Second one. Why would you make that up? And basically put your entire life on jeopardy. You know what I mean? And this was like a year ago or something like that. Like that. This was a
Yeah,
year ago.
I just looked him up. I've seen this guy. Yeah, it was like 2023.
Hmm.
He was yeah, Air Force guy. Yeah, I think I saw that. I don't know. I want to believe in aliens, but I don't know. I mean,
Have you ever
either
seen
they
those
exist.
videos about how like vast the universe is? Like
Yeah,
in order to even get to us, the amount of like galaxies and stars and other suns that aliens would have to get to just to land on us. And even then, like what would make them what would make us so special? Obviously, we have a pretty good insight on what other planets look like around us generally. But who's to say without, with all those other hundreds of galaxies that, there might be a must and a Jill or a Weston
yeah.
and a Jill out there, and they're doing the, you know, the Jill just, I don't know where I was going with that, but
Jawcast.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what would make them so interested in us? And honestly, I don't, if they were, I don't think that they'd be sending the smartest out of them. I don't know if you've ever watched that one really funny bit with that one comedian when he's talking about how the aliens always visit us naked. I don't want to ruin the joke, but he's a really funny comic
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
I've never heard of it, but that is true. I've never seen an alien with clothes. Like nobody's
Yeah.
ever described an alien with clothes. Maybe once you get like if they're like more advanced than us, like if they're like a million years ahead of us, maybe they just don't need clothes anymore. I mean, maybe like in the future we just kind of like don't want to wear clothes. Like we start, if you think about it, we started off with no clothes, and now we're just wearing clothes. Well, it's just in the future we just go back to baseline. We just don't have clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that could be it.
no, I, I agree. But yeah, no, I don't want to, I don't know, I can't remember the comic's name, but he's really funny, younger Hispanic guy, and he's talking about how like if we are getting aliens, they're not sending the brightest because they're always naked, and it always seems like some kind of college bet. Like, dude, let's send for like a hazing college bet. Like, let's send Jimmy to fucking Earth naked. Um, but yeah, no, it's pretty funny. Well, that's cool. I'm glad that we solved that issue. So, you've heard it here first, guys. We don't know about aliens, so
Yeah.
I'm glad that
We don't
we
know much
uncovered.
about a lot of things. This is going to
Yeah,
be a, you're going to find that out probably
yeah,
by episode 4. You're going to say,
yeah,
why am I listening to this? Why am I listening to these people? Why am I listening to 4 episodes of these
yeah.
momos talking for 30 minutes each?
Yeah. Just if you're listening to this, skip to episode 28 when we've pretty much figured out if
Yeah.
aliens are real or not. The next topic, probably one that we're gonna take a little curveball. You know, we're gonna bob and weave. Michael Morrone. What's up? What's up
Oh,
with him? Michael Morrone.
that's my man crush. I am a straight man, but if I was not straight, he'd be my first one. Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree, and honestly, I think he's top five for me. I think it's somewhere along the lines that's Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and then Michael Morrone.
I think it's just Michael.
Michael?
It's like spelled weird, but I think it's just pronounced Michael. Like Michael. Yeah, I don't. It might be Michael. I think it's Michael. I think he's Italian. Those Italians are weird.
I don't know why I can't. Um, it's 365, right?
Yeah, the movie. Yeah.
Okay. Michael Morone. E. Okay. Well, I know of recent that Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly have since broken up relatively relatively recent, coincidentally around the same time frame that this movie came out. Do you think that that has any kind of relation?
I mean, have you seen the video of I'm just gonna call him Michael of Michael Moroni? It's like a selfie video him with Megan Fox,
Oh, I've seen it.
and she's like blushing and everything.
Oh, I've seen it, dude. That
Yeah.
he's all up over my girl. That's just kidding. Not my girl. But yeah, he's all up over Megan Fox, and that's just kind of that's I don't know, that's pretty crazy, man. Like imagine you had a fucking girlfriend. Imagine, and it doesn't he have a wife?
No, he's divorced. He's got
Oh, okay.
kids.
Okay, never mind then. Never mind. Never mind. But imagine Machine Gun Kelly watching that video, or like imagine if you know Michael had a wife and they were watching that video. Like you would suspect any reasonable person would suspect, you know, they're they're probably turning that camera off and they're up close and personal. If they're that comfortable with the world seeing that they're comfortable. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just speculation. I'm not you know, throwing Michael under the bus, but that's just my speculation. Um, any other thoughts on that, Will? Any other thoughts on Kel?
No. I think he's a very fine-looking gentleman, and he's kind of young. He's like 32, I think, 33, 32. But I know that he was actually a gardener until his big break for
Ain't no
365.
well. Seriously?
Yeah, he was he cut bushes in Italy.
Ain't
And
no
like
way, dude.
while he was an actor and he wasn't like famous or anything, and then 365 happened and then he got his big break at like 30.
That is
So
insane.
up until 30, he was a nobody. He was
And
an Italian gardener.
Dude, that is crazy. And
And then
imagine,
now,
like,
and then now 3 years later, he's just chilling with Megan Fox.
yeah, that's insane. And to top it all off, it's crazy to think that this man was 30 years old in that movie. This guy, I don't know, looks like he's like a I maybe I just have a really bad perception of age, but I mean, to think that in 5 years that we need to look like that, dude.
I'm giving myself till 28 to look like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
my,
that's
that's my
that's
deadline.
that's pretty crazy, dude. That's pretty crazy. Um, but yeah, okay. Next topic. Will, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this next topic.
Oh, okay. I didn't come prepared for the first episode.
Oh, we know. We know.
Um, should we have like should every episode be like a different topic, or should we just kind of have a general idea of what we're going to talk about and just kind of go off the riff?
That comes episode 10. That's episode 10
Episode 10 is like specialized stuff.
Yeah, I think this
So
is
until
where we
okay,
realize, hey, maybe we should come a little bit more prepared until it is more fluent for us.
yeah.
But till then, we're probably going to need a topic of discussion, is what I'm
Hmm.
thinking here. Well, maybe just a little bit more background on us without giving our whole personal lives away. I think it's safe to say that we're, again, two younger, mid 20-year-old men. And obviously, we don't have all of our shit together, but we have some idea of what the world looks like. And hopefully, some people might be able to get something out of these conversations, whether it's humor, whether it's insight in the world. And maybe you can go to your next political gathering and blurt out some mumbo jumbo that we've taught you and look like
That comes by episode 15.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you blurt that out, and you could safely, you just blurt it out with confidence, and then you just look like a hero in front of all your friends, guaranteed. So, like I would say, we'll get there, but that's episode 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think by episode 100, if we actually have if we're actually making good money with this by episode 100, maybe we'll reveal like our like middle names or something, or like our face.
Or like our shoe
You know?
size.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want to get doxxed or anything.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Shoe size. You know, um, maybe we'll tell them like the coordinates to your mom's house or something like
Yeah. Well, then
just
they'll just be
something.
able to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So we'll start there. Start something slight. Like stuff like that. Um,
I actually have a topic.
okay.
So, just for the viewers to get a little bit of a better understanding of us without giving too much away, we're both in sales. So, we actually do two different kinds of sales. I'm not going to necessarily reveal what kind of sales yet, but we're in two different industries in sales. I started before him, but somehow he's making more money than me. Uh, for now, we'll see how the podcast goes. But yeah, do you want to talk about a little bit of like why you decided to get into sales?
Yeah. But before I do that, I think by the end of this video, I think even an even a member in the audience that's not even in the area that we're in, they're gonna know our first and last names just because of what you just said.
No way. No, they're not.
Okay, all right, whatever. Okay,
Just
maybe I should.
don't say what kind of sales you're
Okay,
in.
okay,
We're
all right.
it-
Well,
it's like if I was a
I'm in
nurse, I mean,
a
I could be
more
in Guam.
yeah. I think that you just have a less of an you have a less traditional sales job,
Yeah.
and mine has been around and perfected for a little bit. And in your industry, it hasn't been around for as long. Maybe what, 10, 15 years?
If
My,
that.
yeah, my type of industry has been around for 100 years. So we've had 100 years to figure it out, like
Yeah.
in my industry. But it's good. I would say it's sales is probably the number one way to build wealth if you
Hmm.
don't have any kind of wealth. He, that said, if you have to also take into statistics, right? So you can't just become a salesman and start making money. Like if you work for, um, I can guarantee you, if you're a man, if and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go into sales, and you sell like beauty products for women, odds are you're probably not going to be doing as well as my sister, or you're not going to be doing as well as a woman in that market because women tend to know the beauty market better than men. That's just a
Yeah.
fact, right?
Hmm.
So it depends on what kind of sales you do, first and foremost, and what is booming in your market. If you're in a more wealthier part of California or Florida, and you know that, I would suggest getting into real estate or some kind of luxury item. If
Hmm.
you're in the Midwest and you live in a town that predominantly values saving and not really blowing all your money and your steam off of luxury items, sell a more practical item at a higher value, right? So this could be anything, and I'm not, I don't really know what that is. I don't want to give too much away, but like, you could be creative. This could be working with companies in your area, and they're just not really doing what they should be doing with their sales. You can go to that company and flip it over, do a total 180, and like go a whole nother direction and help them get to that point where they've never reached themselves. And
Hmm.
that's doable. That's possible. Um, Same thing with your industry, right? Like your industry of sales. Like I think what going back to your first comment of like who's making more money, I really just think it's because if you applied that same energy you do to that current job to maybe just a slightly different one, I think you'd be very surprised on the outcome. Because quite literally, I mean, besides a couple of nicks and crannies, you, me do exert the same amount of effort daily. It's just my my tickets are a bit more than yours. That's about it.
Yeah.
But
Um,
why
I think
don't
it
you get
just,
into yours yet?
yeah, so obviously I don't want to give out too much, but yeah, like Justin was saying, it's a definitely like a newer industry. Um,
Will, if you're talking, we lost you.
yeah, sorry, I have a noisy household right now. Somebody just came in. Um, we gotta work on soundproofing this room. That's what we gotta do. Um, yes, what I'm saying is yeah, my sales is definitely a newer kind of sales, kind of new age. I have a lot of friends in this industry and they make really good money. I think it's just kind of dependent on where you work, as opposed to what you sell, if that makes sense. Like you can sell like very expensive products, 5, 10, 20,000. And if you're in a company that gives you really good leads, gives you enough call volume, um, and you're actually pretty decent at what you do, I've noticed it's not necessarily you can make a lot of money in this industry at least. I don't know how yours is, but in my industry, you can make a lot of money even if you're an okay salesman. If you have a really good company that you work for and they give you really good leads, you're decent at what you do, and you just kind of put in those repetitions, you can make a ridiculous amount of money. I have friends that should not be making the money they're making. Like on paper, like I love them, but they should not be. They should be like, you know, a manager at McDonald's. Like I love them, but let's be honest here. So I think I mean I've heard that analogy in kind of sales in general. I'm sure, maybe real estate might not be the same thing or like very like I'm sure like if you're selling like private jets, I'm sure you have to be pretty professional. And if you're an okay salesman, but you're not able to connect to the client, if these billionaires are buying jets, I'm sure you're not going to be successful. But at least in my industry, if you find a good company, you put in, you're a decent salesman, you put in the work, you'll make good money. But the issue is that it's hard to find these companies without having a really good network. And even when you do find these companies, might not be the best fit for you. There's a lot of drawbacks. Um, Typically these are commission only companies, so good and bad. We're both commission only in our respective industries. And I've actually been looking into more like tech sales, like selling software. I have friends that do that, and I kind of like the idea of having a base and commission. I see the positives and negatives to both, but um, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in my journey. Again, I'm trying to like walk on eggshells here because I'm trying not to, give out too much information too soon.
You're like,
But
okay, you got me. I'm a philanthropist.
yeah,
I'm
I'm an entrepreneur.
an
That's what I
entrepreneur.
am.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
but also some might say that for your current role, like, I mean, it's quite a unique role. Like, I wouldn't have got, like, I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't have, but um, it's a very unique role that you wouldn't, it's very untraditional, n and not even like a whole percentage of the U.S. population has this kind of role, I would say that you have. So
yeah,
in that sense, it's very new. Um, and I don't know, like with that comes like an issue of job security, right? Like
yeah,
so with mine, it's been around. If I lose my job, big whoop, I go around and with that kind of knowledge and my reputation that's already built up with where I'm at, I can go and replicate this to a certain degree, right? It's not going to be the exact same, but I can very similarly replicate this. Um, and I'm not saying that you can't, but it'd be a little harder for sure because there's not like that many people that do what you do.
mhm.
Um, and it's not in traditional in the sense that like when you go and try to get that tech job, they're going to say, okay, well, do you have a reference? And I mean, you have a reference, but like it's just untraditional, right?
Yeah,
So I guess what we're trying to get at to weave back to the point of us telling you about our little personal job life is I think we're trying to be transparent and also give feedback, like provide feedback, and also take in feedback, I would say. So like this is going to be not just a way to build up our own personal brand, but this is also going to be a way to connect with others. I think this is a great way to connect with some people that are probably feeling the same that we do, and maybe just want to shoot around thoughts and ideas on the internet.
mhm.
I couldn't think of any other way to have a conversation but have random strangers on the internet kind of like chime in and give us their opinion. I think that's very it's a really great tool.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off of what he said, when we post these episodes, if anybody's watching this and you comment what to talk about, as long as it's not too crazy, we'll talk about it. Just give us
Yep.
topics.
Yep. And anything you say, we will read, and it will hurt our feelings if you say something mean. It will eat us alive, and we'll probably talk about it for like a week or two,
Yeah.
you know? And then yeah, like that's that's just how it rolls, right? So just keep that in mind.
Oh.
Yeah. How about recreational stuff, Will? Let's talk recreational. I guess what do you see yourself doing in the next 5 years? Like, what is something you want to be doing 5 years from now exactly?
Recreationally, do you mean like just fun or
Fun.
business or okay, okay. Um, I used to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Um, Not super good at it, but I've done it for a couple years off and on. I'm off right now, but next 5 years, I definitely want to get back into that very, very soon. And I mean, I could probably get a purple belt in 5 years. That's pretty decent. I mean, high blue purple belt for sure. That's a big goal of mine recreationally. Just want to get into really good shape. Just want to be, just health on point. lifts on point. I'm actually trying right now to get a 225 pound overhead press. That's my goal. I'm only at 155, but definitely in 5 years I could hit 225. So
Nice.
trying to get both of those two. Um,
And how do you think that like going to 155 to 225, how do you think that's going to affect you mentally? Like, how do you think you're going to feel once you've hit it?
I'm gonna feel pretty accomplished. I think it's more just like saying you're gonna do something and then following through with with what you said. I think that builds up a lot of confidence in yourself. Also, I kind of wanted to just hit it just because it's a lift that's not extremely popular. It is like, but most people they think of like bench, deadlift, or squat, and those are all right for me. But I kind of want to just have a 225 overhead press at my weight and height. That's like 0.1% of people will ever hit that. So I just kind of want to know like I'm able to do something physically that the majority of humans have never done or will ever do. Like I feel like even like a 315 flat bench, it's impressive, but like we're gonna hit it. Like if you go to the gym, there's people that have hit a 315. If you go to the gym and ask people, like even big people, they probably have never hit a 225 overhead press. So I just kind of want it's more like a bragging thing, but it's also like I want something that's mine physically. Like I want to dominate in a specific physical arena and be the best in that specific thing. Because like anybody can be good at deadlift, bench, squat, even jujitsu, boxing, Muay Thai. Like you can be good at that, and that's good. But to be like world champion boxer is one thing. Like anybody can be a boxer, but to be the best, that's one thing. Just to even bragging rights is kind of like shallow, but it's there. But I think a lot of it is also like it's the man that you become in the process of achieving that feat. Like in order to become the world champion, boxer in your weight class, you have to become a different man. Like us right now, we couldn't do that right now. But it's the journey of becoming that man that, but by the time you hit, oh my God, I'm world champion. Not only are you world champion, but you have more money. You're in amazing shape. You're physically well. Like it's all these other intangibles that you've received while you've tried to summit that mountain. And then when you look down at the mountain, not only did you reach the top of the mountain, but like, oh my God, look at everything else that I accomplished because I was going for this feat. I think that's mostly what it is for me. And
Okay.
bragging rights. I want to be able to say I can do it and you can't.
Yeah, no, I get that. Um, that's, I mean, that's what fucking,
That's a third
oh,
one.
oh,
I don't, I don't,
snap.
I don't, I don't think it matters. I mean,
Oh, man.
this
But
is
yeah,
gonna be
no, that's what,
uncut.
that's what sports, I would say, like, I wouldn't necessarily call it shallow. Like, it's definitely, you just realize and don't beat yourself up if you can't do it. And then, because there will become a time, and this is what I've thought about, um, lifting and stuff is that there will one day come a time where I won't be able to do this,
Mhm.
Like you can only lift 225 above your head for so long until you can't. And
Yeah.
so that's what I've thought about it. Like, um, I hear you. I hear you. I'm a little different. I don't want to, I've kind of put heavy lifting like that aside, and it's more for me personally, like building functional strength. So, my goal right now for 2025, oh, that's another topic we could talk about. My goal for 2025 is going to be weight training, like weightlifting, 3 days a week minimum, right? 3 days a week minimum. So push pull
Mhm.
legs, and then the other two would be some kind of martial arts, whether it's kickboxing or jujitsu. One or like so 5 days a week of doing something active, but only really doing taking the weight training days, um, doing those differently than the martial arts stuff. So like a Monday through Wednesday, push pull legs. Thursday, Friday, jujitsu and kickboxing. You know what I mean? So that I'm
Yeah.
not just building because I don't want to just be big for no reason. Like I've been big before and it didn't make my life any easier. Like I just kind of looked relatively big, but in terms of functionality, you're right. I couldn't really do 225. Like I couldn't, well, also because of other factors like my wrists. I probably have like better form I got to practice on. I'm not saying that I can't do it again. I have hit 225 like bench, but at some point I was just kind of like, yo, this kind of hurts more than it should.
Hmm.
So, and when am I gonna need to push a 225 pound man like up off me? You know what I mean? Um, but I see the appeal and I understand. Like I'd rather do like 185 for till failure or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. I think that might help me a little bit in jiu-jitsu a bit more because you're just it's a dance, right? It's
Hmm.
not like a one and done. In jiu-jitsu, it's a dance. In kickboxing, it's a dance. It's who exerts the most energy. The fastest is typically the one that loses, unless you're like Gordon Ryan and you're just an absolute menace and you torment kids. But yeah, I would say no, it's all good things, man, and I appreciate you sharing that with me in the podcast here. What are we at in terms of time?
We ran out a minute ago.
Nice,
I was
nice.
gonna say just like let's do some closing
Yeah,
talks and then just
yeah.
end off the first
Cl
episode.
let's close it with a song. I was just joking, just joking. But no, that was pretty solid, dude. I think that was a good first episode. Maybe closing thoughts, maybe what people can expect more out of us. Maybe a more general thing, like I think we have a lot of influence with other podcasters, without a doubt, like certain people that we both look up to individually, and then certain people that we look up to get together. And not saying that we're going to mirror them, but really trying to take inspiration from them. I mean, that's kind of why we're starting a podcast to begin with,
Hmm.
um, and kind of make it our own. You know what I mean? I think that's what the world is. Like
Yeah,
taking really good ideas and making them your own thoughts and expressions. So,
yeah. I'm excited to keep recording these. I think after maybe like episode 10 or something, we'll probably get more into a better flow of things. Maybe we'll have like each episode might be like a certain topic and we'll kind
yeah.
of go off of that. But until then, we're just kind of getting our footing. Let's see if anybody even watches this. Leave any comments below on what you guys want us to talk about. As long as it's not too edgy yet, we could do it. But yeah, I think this was fun. We gotta do these. I think we're gonna do these like once a week.
Yeah.
I don't know
Once
what
a
we,
week.
we might yeah, we might post it on Mondays. Haven't gotten that far yet, but yeah, this was fun. I'm excited for the next one.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Yep. See you guys.